you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hello, this is Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The earliest things that makes official. Welcome to the big show. As always, for 16 years, 2,800 episodes, we were in the Chris Voss Show because we were sitting around one day and we're like, hey, man, should we do a show? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. What should we call it? And they're like, idiot with a mic. And I'm like, that's really offensive, man. It's called Chris Voss Show, and everybody will know I'm still a moron. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. So we did that in 2009, and here we are today, approaching our 17th birthday in August. Refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Otherwise, you're going to be saddled with guilt, regret, and it will haunt you for the rest of your life. You'll be on your deathbed, and last words you'll say are, God, I wish I'd referred more people to Chris Voss Show. God damn. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry for that. That's a little inappropriate. I might have to get hit with the newspaper now. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and Facebook.com/Chris Voss. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today, an amazing young man on the show with us today. We're going to be talking to him about his insights in all of the stuff about marketing, because everything in life is sales. Vi Wickam joins us on the show with us today. He's an uber geek and an award-winning musician. He's the guy you want on your side in a digital duel. Find out what that means. For over 20 years, he helped businesses with Google AdWords management, remarketing, banner ads, and YouTube ads. He's also well-versed in web development, Microsoft ads, Facebook, and business strategy. He's crazy about dark chocolate and will bust out a smile, including a song played on his great-grandfather's violin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the man is a fiddler. I think this is the first fiddler marketer SEO guy we've had on the show. But, there's still time. If you wait long enough in the show, he might play Devil Goes. He might play Devil Goes to Georgia. I don't know. Can you play that song, by?
I can play that song.
He can play that song. So, folks, you can check that out on the Spotify. He's extra nerdy about the machine inside Google that makes business successful. He holds a solemn vow to make your website and your data firmly within your control, a rare promise that you can make in the digital world, which is true these days. You'll find him in the American Rocky Mountains and open plains, ready to help when you are. Welcome to the show, Vi. How are you?
Thank you, Chris. I am fantastic. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yeah, we invited you to the show to fiddle around with us. We didn't really mean like a violin or anything, but it's nice that you have one. Give us the .coms. Where do you want people to get to know you better on the interwebs?
If you're looking for my web development and digital marketing business, that is online at wizardofadsonline.com. And if you want my fiddling, it's at vithefiddler.com.
Ah, and you play with your great-grandfather's violin?
I do still own and play my great-grandfather's violin. It's not my first violin that I play. I have another violin that's only 120 years old. My great-grandpa's violin is about 200 years old, but I know the 120-year-old violin is my favorite, so that's the one I play most of the time.
You might want to change those strings after 120 years, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I change them every 6 months or so, whether they need it or not.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hated about trying to be a guitarist. I'm like, I always have to tune these damn things. I'm always going out of tune. You got to replace them.
We tune because we care.
Oh, we're supposed to care too? Wow, this seems like a lot.
We are supposed to care.
This is why I never became a guitarist.
It's painful.
Yeah, you're a famous, successful violinist, and I can't play guitar. So, Vi, give us a 30,000 overview of what you do there at viwickam.com.
So, at Wizard of Ads Online, we do digital marketing for local service businesses, local retail businesses, and e-commerce businesses, mostly in the United States and North America, but really we work with people around the world.
So anybody's a client of yours that's in the world, is that correct?
No, I work with small businesses that are owner operated. Usually these are businesses like, for example, if it's a service business, I work with service business owner operators who are out of the field. So if they're still in a truck going on service calls, they're probably a little too small for me to work with because I know how hard it is to get out of the field for a service business.
Yeah.
But if they're an e-commerce business, they may be, a smaller business and still be able to utilize my services. A retail business might need to be a little bigger because, when you've got brick and mortar retail, you have to sell more volume to make the same kind of margins.
And on your website, you bill yourself as an uber geek and a passionate artist, 57.3% nerd, 61.9% artist. All business. I'm sure this is tongue in cheek, but probably not good at math.
Yes, I'm good at math, and that's why I made that joke.
Are you really? So that's the tongue in cheek.
Oh, that's the tongue in cheek.
That would be 0.1. Carry the one. That's 58 plus 61.
Yeah,
9 and 110 or something like that.
110% or so. Yeah.
I mean, they always say you should give 110%. But you believe
you should always give 110%.
You believe a story without an audience is worthless. Tell us what that means.
I look at this kind of the way that my dad told me as a kid. He said, you don't have to have a job, but you do have to have marketable skills. And a marketable skill is not just something that you're good at. It's something that you're good at that people are willing to exchange money for. And so if you've got a great story that nobody cares about, then it really doesn't matter. It has to have, it has to be a good story that connects with people. And then you have to get it out into the world. It's kind of like if you write a great album, and then you have your CD release party for 5 of your friends in your backyard. Nobody's going to hear this great album.
It's not going to chart, probably.
It's definitely not going to be the number 1 folk album for the month of November.
Yeah. Maybe number 2. I don't know. I see this all the time in marketing. I see. I've watched with the mobile era where I've seen people spend all their money, every single dime, on building an app or building a product.
Sure.
And they pour every ounce of the anal sort of micro management into it that Steve Jobs poured into the color yellow on an app and on the iPhone. And I'll sit there and I'll be like, you're setting some money aside for advertising, right? No, we're gonna build the best app in the world that people,
it's gonna go viral,
undeniable. That people will not be, and I've seen that. I've seen plenty of. I remember when Instagram first came out and exploded, there was 2 other far better, far higher resolution and landscape instead of idiot portrait. I hate portrait photographer. Give me a break. But they, Instagram just, I don't know what it was, man. They just had the magic sauce. Probably did some marketing there, but man, they burst onto the thing and they put the other 2 companies out of business. The other 2 companies were far better. I loved using them for photos, but there's lots of examples of that in the market.
And very often something like Instagram connected with something that people were lacking. It might have been that it was easier to use than the other ones, or, that it was just seamless on mobile phones. And, the audience, Instagram was 100% targeted towards mobile phone usage at a time where a lot of the other apps were not keenly focused in that direction. And Instagram was really drop dead simple. There wasn't a whole bunch of stuff you could do with it. You could upload images, you could put a filter on them, and you could type in a description. You couldn't add links. There were so many things that had more features, but very often it's not the thing with the most features that wins. It's the thing that's easiest to use that, if it's drop dead simple, that's something that a lot of people appreciate when they have trouble using those extra features.
So product for stupid people is the way to get to success.
It can be. It can be. And I didn't call him stupid.
I did. Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember they started a whole revolution of people holding their phone portrait. And I was just like, kill me now. Who does this
I was
crap?
one of those longtime holdouts for landscape video.
Oh, yeah.
And,
but you're right. They didn't have an online website went back then. They just had this stupid thing. And
finally, I had to give in and do portrait videos as well.
Yeah, so did I. I had to finally join the crowd of Just get off my lawn, you kids, with your Instagram and your stupid mobile or whatever.
Snap my face.
So you know, no one ever cleans the front screen camera lens. So anyway, so you believe that difficult digital becomes clear customers. Tell us about what that means, turning clickers into customers, I guess.
So one of my key driving forces is transparency in digital advertising. It's so often that digital marketers are lazy and hide behind the black box that is Google. Because Google doesn't make things easy to understand by default. Just like, we're talking about ease of use, Google Ads and, other Google services are not transparent. They're not easy to use. They're not easy to understand. And it's really easy if you're a lazy or dishonest digital marketer to hide the facts from your customers. An example of this is I use an analytics platform that's one of the industry standard analytics platforms that integrates, Facebook data and Google data and, other analytics platform data. And there's a feature in this, I kid you not, to mark up your ad spend automatically.
Oh, wow.
So if you're someone who's hired a digital guy and you are not paying that platform directly, there's good chance that your digital person's marking this up and not telling you about it.
Oh.
So it's not uncommon for markups of, 20 to 30% on digital ad spend. So you'll go and log in here and you'll say, oh, I spent $1,000, but you actually only spent $800 or $750. And you don't know that $250 was just pocketed by your digital guy.
Oh.
Now, I'm not saying that everybody does this, but I don't, because I believe that you should control your digital destiny. I believe that this stuff should all be transparent for you, and you should be the one that has that direct pay relationship with Google or Facebook or whatever the platform is that you're working in.
Well, that's important. If you spend your money, you want to have maybe some control over it and all that sort of good stuff.
You want to see it.
What sort of clients did they need? A minimum net worth? Did they need a certain amount of budget spend to work with you? What's the minimums that you need to be able to help people?
So when it comes to spending, you have to spend enough that you can utilize it effectively. For example, a home service campaign on Google Ads, it's unlikely that you can run one of those successfully without $2,000 or $3,000 a month in spend. If you're trying to do that, spending less than that, you're just not going to be able to make it work. So there are limits inherent in what platform you're using and what's going to work in your market and things like that. My rule of thumb is for a home service business, you probably need to be doing around $3 million in revenue to be able to market at the level that it makes sense to work with somebody like me. For an e-commerce business, the number might be like $1 million, but it's going to depend on whether, how much margin do you have? Are you a manufacturer of this stuff, or are you just a reseller of this stuff? And there's a number of factors at play that determine whether or not you're doing enough sales volume that it would make sense to hire somebody like me.
Oh, That can definitely be an important factor. You got to get the tools out there. Now, this website that you have, wizardofadsonline.com, is that an extension of what you do, or how does that work with your ways of working?
So Wizard of Ads Online is my business that does digital marketing.
Okay.
We are a Wizard of Ads partner, which is a partnership of about 85 marketing businesses across the globe.
Oh, wow.
And we're all connected. We all work together, and we all adhere to certain standards, including, transparency and, working to the best interests of our clients. And we believe in having aligned incentives. And as a digital guy, this is especially important in the realm of a lot of digital marketers take a percentage of ad spend, even if they don't, hide it from the customer. If I get 10 or 20% of whatever you spend on Google, my incentive is get you to spend more on Google. But if I only get a raise when I grow your sales volume, which is the way I work, then my incentive is to grow your sales volume, not to grow your Google ad spend.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. I guess there's a lot of this that goes on in the business, huh?
It's not just in the digital side, in the analog side in mass media. It's typical for agencies to take a 15% kickback from the radio station or the TV station of the spend. And they very, very rarely disclose that they're taking that kickback to the client.
Wow.
But we do not take those kickbacks. We actually negotiate the deal with the radio station or the TV station on behalf of the client.
Oh, really?
And then the client is the one that actually does the contract and makes the payments direct. So the ethic of transparency on that spending is not just for Wizard of Ads Online on the digital front, but it's also for Wizard of Ads partners globally on all mass media purchasing as well.
That's quite nice. You guys have that. I mean, having a fiduciary duty to your client in their best interest is definitely a good long-term provision, but also, necessary. I mean, if you're ripping off your own client, or I don't know, you fully be ripping it off, but if you're padding stuff, or I don't know, whatever,
getting a little payola.
Yeah, when the client finds out about stuff like that, they can really kind of question your integrity and what you're doing for them, and maybe yada yada yada. So
I believe if we never step close to the line, we'll never go over it.
That's true. That's the thing. You call the internet a wicked dragon swinging about and belching hot air. My girlfriend says that to me too as well. So what does that mean in terms of what the internet's all about there?
When it comes to a small business and the having to interface and grow your business using online tools, there is so much that's beyond your control. And there are so many places and ways you can spend your energy. And if you're trying to do all the things at once, and a good example of this is social media.
Yeah.
In social media, pick one that you're going to focus on and be willing to ignore the rest. Because you can't do everything good. You can't do everything. If I tried to do everything for everybody, I'm just going to be lame all the time. But if I have focus and I do the things that are going to move the needle and I ignore everything else, I'm going to be able to operate efficiently. So a lot of digital agencies are focused on showing you how many things I did, how much commotion I created, how much activity I spun off. And that isn't how I work. It's so easy to do a bunch of things that don't matter. It's so easy to spend all of my time and energy and make a bunch of commotion that doesn't move the needle, that doesn't make you more money. And my focus is, because our incentives are aligned and I only get a raise when I grow your business, is to spend my time as efficiently as I can and only spend it on the things that will grow your business and make you more money. Oh, it's a novel concept.
it's a novel concept. Gee, I'm used to people just driving my money off in wheelbarrows and then being like, "We'll call you." No, I'm just
Yeah, that is the way.
So you talk on the website about having a story to tell as your business. Why is that so important? I think we touched on a little bit, but let's kind of deepen the knowledge on that.
Well, Wizard of Ads is a message-centric agency. So if I want a successful strategy online, I have to have a good story to tell. I have to have a good message to tell. And being able to tell that message online is generally not enough unless this is an e-commerce business.
Yeah.
So I need to have that message clear so that I can communicate that online, and so that my partners who work offline, have message alignment, and so that the business has message alignment. Because if the message I'm telling doesn't align with the culture of the business, they are screwed.
Yeah.
An example of this would be, I create a message that says, your business cares more about people than it cares about profits. But things get a little tight, and you start sending out your salespeople and telling them they have to, if you don't sell, you're going to get fired. And so they start hard selling everybody. And next thing you know, you got Google reviews that are saying these guys don't care more about profits than people. They care about profits. All they want to do is sell, sell, sell. These guys are a bunch of liars.
Wow.
So we have to have cohesion. We have to have connection between the truth on the ground. What is your true message? What is your true culture? Who are you deep down? And the message that I'm telling. Because everybody's interesting. Everybody's got an interesting story. They may not know what it is, but I believe in telling an authentic story only. And, if I get fooled by the customer and tell a story that's inauthentic, that's never going to work long term.
Yeah. Yeah. People like authenticity when they're doing business with people nowadays.
So weird.
So weird. I had a friend buy a video game from a discount video gamer the other day, and it was marked. He lives in Australia, and so he was looking for the version that works in Australia, because there's sometimes different countries like China that don't.
Sure.
Yeah, they have their own different version to comply with their internet stuff, and of course they're behind a wall there in China. Over the weekend he bought the game, and it said it was for Australia, and it turns out it was the Chinese edition they sold him. And so now he's trying to claw his money back and all that sort of fun stuff. But, there's authenticity, I think, is really important. Do you have any thoughts on the McDonald's burger CEO thing? It's kind of been a viral kerfuffle going on. I don't know if you've seen it, but
man,
that might be an authentic.
Tell me about it. About this.
Right now, to give some date to this, because if you're watching years from now on YouTube, or a decade now from YouTube, you'll write me and be like, that did not happen last week. March 9th, 2026, there was a recent giant burger. It's the most highest calorie burger they have, which is hard to imagine because that's all their burgers. But evidently it's bigger than everything. And they've been test marketing in different international markets. And I guess they finally decided to see if it'll have traction here. And I guess most people just like their quarter pounders and their Big Macs, and they just I don't know why some of them are still making. Was too much. Yeah, you still see people though at the drive-through acting like it's a life decision where they take a whole day to make their decision on their order, and you're like, dude, it's just Big Mac and quarter pounder and maybe the fillet of fish. Like, seriously, make a choice.
I got to tell you the story.
Okay.
I was on my way to a fiddle contest in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And I had my dad with me, and we stopped in at the McDonald's in Cheyenne, Wyoming. There's probably more than one, but off the interstate. And I'm like, I'm hungry. My dad's hungry. He's asking me to pull over and get food. And we go to the counter, and my dad says, "Hey, what do you have here that's healthy?" and this poor teenage boy looks at my dad, who's 75, and says, "This is McDonald's. We don't have anything healthy here."
Even the salads are high caloric. I went on their salad. I went on a salad diet one time eating their salads, and then I started looking at the calories. Oh my God, it's just.
You're like 600 calories in the salad?
So anyway, the CEO did this intro online, of this new burger. He's, I'm sitting here. I normally have a McDonald's sandwich for lunch every day, and yada yada yada. And that didn't even seem very believable. He's really stiff on. I'm not sure how they decided he should be a great CEO, but he's real stiff, kind of nerdy. I mean, he would do better selling, I don't know, something in Silicon Valley than he would burgers. But hey, it's what I know. Maybe he's really burger.
What do you know?
Maybe
he could just be a burger fiend.
Yeah, maybe he's a burger fiend in his private life, but he certainly wasn't one on camera this day. So there's a video of him announcing the new burger, and he's got it in front of him, and it does not look like the advertising. It looks like shit, actually.
Man,
I was looking at it going, that looks net. Couldn't they at least have let him hold the camera?
Give him a pretty version of it.
Yeah, the fake meat, fake bun, and all the stuff that they spray it with some water so it looks moist.
Yeah.
Can they give him the fake one, and then right before he shoves it in his mouth, he can? So anyway, he announced he's gonna try it. I'm gonna eat this thing for you on camera because I don't know. I want to show people how to poison themselves. Anyway, I'm just kidding, McDonald's. Don't sue me. It's comedy. It's comedy, but seriously, maybe not. Anyway, we've all had those regrets at night where you're like, what did I put in my rock gut? Holy crap. Big Mac's in there kicking. So he kind of brags about the burger, and he kind of acts like he's going to pick up some monster burger. I don't even know how to attack this. And he's trying to lift it up without it just falling all over. And it looks like, the burger that's on the ad board and the burger you get. Looks like, I don't know. The lady took her credit card, sat on it with her. Yeah, she just sat on it, and then maybe, I don't know, the cook stuffed on it or something. Picks it up, and it just the look of it is gross. Like certainly they could have done something better to pick that up a little bit, at least punch it for the things. But it looks gross. He's, I don't know how I'm gonna attack this. And dude, it's a burger. You open your mouth, shove it in, then you're done. And then he holds it up to himself, and he looks apprehensive. He looks disgusted. He looks like, I don't know, and they're probably trying to fly this so it looked, what sort I'm looking for. So it looked kind of like impromptu and he eats these every day. This is his go-to.
Yeah, and in between filet mignon and liver pate.
Yeah, whatever my yacht's serving this week. And so you got to watch the video because it's viral everywhere. In fact, McDonald's finally took it down. And he doesn't, like you or I, anybody who's eating a burger who's American would just, take a big old bite out of that baby. He takes like this nibble, and then he turns and kind of has this look on his face, like disgusted look. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that was great." And I mean, it's a great viral moment of inauthenticity that you can see where it's really not that great. It really doesn't taste good.
There's a lot of pictures on.
Yeah. And he took a little teeny bite. He took like a nibble off the bun. And you're like, you didn't even bite the meat. Like
he has that look of ooh.
Yeah. And so all the CEOs of every burger joint have now mocked it and made their own viral videos making fun of how to eat a burger properly if you're a burger CEO. So that might be a good
Wendy's to mock McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, they have a good thing going on there. That's almost fun to watch. Who could win the poison of poison Frankenmeat? That might be a good example of inauthenticity.
Yeah, that is definitely an example of inauthenticity.
Yeah, I mean, get somebody in there who knows how to eat a burger and doesn't mind getting them on. If you're eating a burger, you're not worried about your tie and your little CEO McDonald's suit. Get in there, man. It's a burger. Or it's supposed to. If it's good, it's a burger. Let's put it that way. But he just takes this little nibble out of it, and then he tries to convince you that, oh my God, that was great. That was amazing. You're like, you didn't eat it.
You remember the I Love Lucy Vitamin to Vegemin skit where she's, it tastes good, just like candy.
I don't remember that one, but I'll have to Google. I probably did.
Oh man,
in my
Vitamin to Vegemin. Look it up. It was classic.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. You got to be authentic. You got to tell your story that's true. You got to have alignment between the culture of the business, between the message of the business, and between what the customer is going to experience when they interact with the business. Otherwise, they're going to call BS.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny is you had some CEOs that made fun of it. They took a big old giant bite. They're like, let me show you how to eat a burger, buddy. And they got into it just like you or I would probably of a good burger. But, you got to pace yourself with those McDonald's Franken meats. So it's going to be the show I get sued by McDonald's from. Anyway, so authenticity is important. And your customers can tell. That's probably the biggest lesson from this.
They can absolutely tell. And in the world of AI can tell. Wow. Yeah, so AI is reading all the comments about you in the third party places. Wow. They're reading the forums online. They're reading what people say about you on Reddit, on Facebook. Everywhere that people are talking about you, the AI is listening.
Oh, man, that's bad.
I know. It's bad if you're not taking care of your customers or if you're not being honest or authentic. But it's good if you're actually like doing what you said you were going to do. If you're taking care of your customers and you're treating them.
If you treat people right and you do well, they usually treat you back and they reward you with their service and stuff. But what are some other aspects of marketing that you help people with maybe that we haven't talked about that we should get on the table?
So we do digital marketing strategy, which we talked about a little bit, but the bottom line with strategy is that most digital marketers think that tactics equal strategy. They think that if you're doing the latest, greatest thing, that's equivalent to having a great strategy. But doing the latest, greatest thing is only useful if you already have a strong strategy, if you already have a solid message, if you already know who your ideal client is and you're speaking directly to their heart. If you're speaking to them in the language that they can hear you and you're telling the truth and you have a great story to tell, you have a great offer, you have a great offering, there's no amount of tactics that beat a great offer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Stories are the owner's manual to life, we say on the show. And really, the Chris Voss Show is just a collection and celebration of great stories and blueprints and ideas and how you can help yourself out of some failure that other people did. And so stories are really important. It's how we learn. And it's interesting to me, like a great example of your storytelling and the importance of that is for years or decades or probably its whole existence, the NFL have been trying to get women involved in watching football, because more seats, more tickets.
It's half the people in the world.
Yeah, half the people in the world. So why not tap into that market? And they couldn't do it, because, women are just like, what are you doing over there with that NFL thing? They're like, we're headbutting each other and giving each other concussions. You want to watch? It's really cool. And they're like, no. Yeah. So then they started.
Really awesome.
So then they started using announcers to tell stories about families and the wives and so he recently got married to Margaret and them have 3 beautiful kids and she's in the stands here rooting for her husband and their kids and they started telling these stories that involved things that women are more interested in, other than concussions and I don't know what that means.
Other than watching gladiators kick each other's butts.
I've been watching the new female version of Gladiators started. It's kind of like the female version of Ghostbusters. It's going well. Anyway, Gladiator, you can find it on onlyfans.com. Don't ask me which channel. Anyway, but no, and so then they started getting women watching NFL because they were talking about stories and stories that were interesting to women other than just that guy's never going to see straight in 10 years. Yeah. And so that's an example of where you can use stories to really reposition or get new clients or get new customers or get new eyeballs in your audience.
And the truth is stories resonate with humans. Like as humans, we are storytelling machine and we are, we have an evolutionary predisposition to story. So we like guys, ladies, we all love stories. And, what really sold women on the NFL was Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah, that was a big closing deal right there.
Lay the hammer down, drop the mic. Taylor Swift win for the NFL.
Yeah, they need to get her to do what's the thing? They sell the Super Bowl now every year. So it used to be they would ask you to come on, they pay for it, but now
do the halftime show.
Yeah, now you have to pay to do the halftime show. But they should just give it to her 1 year so that she can.
They'd be lucky to have her. They should pay her $1 million to do the halftime show. I'd be like, that would still be a big win for her.
If she ever breaks up with Travis Kelce, they should be like, is there any other quarterback she'd like to date? I mean, maybe you want to do a quarterback. Whatever you want. It's an NFL matchmaking service for her. And, I mean, she's in her 30s. She's looking to settle down, maybe have some kids or something, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Seems like she's on that marriage path. She's
brilliant.
But yeah, I mean, geez, you do that, you're probably guys are going to be like, hey, we can't buy tickets, man. All the girls bought them. But hey, the NFL will be just riding to the bank. They'll be like, sorry, boys.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't care. They do not care money. Who buys the tickets. Their money's money, no matter who it comes from. That's right.
So as we round out the show, anything we missed, or at least pitch people on how to reach out to you, how to get to know you better, and give them the final pitch out.
You can find me on wizardofAdsOnline.com. I am always happy to talk to you about your business. And, if you're looking for somebody who will be transparent with you, operating your best interest, and you're not somebody who's wishy-washy, you're not somebody who is unable to make a decision, I'd be happy to talk with you about your digital marketing needs.
I have to pass a eat a burger test to make sure I'm, what's that old thing? If you'll eat your own something or something. I remember there was eat
your own cooking, eat your own dog meat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, never trust a skinny cook, basically.
Yeah, you got to eat your own cooking, and if you're a McDonald's CEO, that means eating a hamburger, even if. Who knows? Maybe he's a vegetarian CEO of McDonald's, which would be quite the disconnect.
I mean, it's Franken meat. No one really knows that it's actual meat, so he could be being a vegan.
You just don't know what it actually is.
Maybe we're all vegans.
I don't.
Maybe it's a deep evil plot by McDonald's to turn us all into vegans, and
that would not be in their financial interest, but I can't say that I've eaten a McDonald's burger anytime recently.
Then you'll learn. I mean, if you ever learn to hate yourself, then it's good to go. No, I tell McDonald's jokes. I go to McDonald's, I like their breakfast sandwich, but every now and then when I'm craving like salt or I'm low on my sodium, I got one of the Big Macs, and then my throat binds up because I've eaten too much sodium. And,
so you don't want that.
Yeah, it's a great way. I mean, really, if you want a McDonald's burger, just take
a Big Mac.
Take one of those Morton salt things, pour it in your mouth, and you'll have plenty of sodium. So I'm pretty sure that's what 90% of it is. That anyway, I'll be seeing you guys in court later with McDonald's, talking to their attorneys. Be sure to tune in for that. But it's been fun to have you on. And let me ask you this: this is kind of a fun question. How does being a great fiddler, violinist, how many years you've been doing it? Tell us that. And then how does that affect maybe your skills at doing, marketing?
That's a great question. I've been playing the fiddle since I was about 7 years old, which is over 40 years now. I started showing up on stage when I was about 3. My dad would get me on stage at the church ice cream social or the local charity banquet that he was playing for with my grandpa. So I grew up sharing the stage, playing music. And really, marketing and music have deep connection because they're both based on listening. A lot of times people think the most important thing about learning to play an instrument is learning how to play, but it's really learning how to listen. And whether you're doing marketing and you're listening to your customers and you're listening to their customers and you're trying to get that message and get clear on it and understand them, understand what motivates them, understand why they make these decisions, or you're in a band and you're trying to feel out how you fit into the mix of the music, that really intent listening is, I think, one of the most important skills in both worlds.
If you don't listen to the customer, I mean, you can just talk right over them or by them, like we have really great sodium. And you're like, I just want a burger. And
let me tell you about our sodium. Have you heard about our spam? We have spam, eggs, spam, ham, and spam.
I love that bit. That's so great.
Spam, eggs, and spam doesn't have very much spam in it.
Not quite as much spam, but I don't want any spam.
Oh, we got spam, eggs, and spam. That doesn't have very much spam. Spam. Now I'm going to get sued by Monty Python's rights. Spamity. There you go. We've just blown the YouTube algorithm and picked up several lawsuits and sued, because it's one of those shows, folks. That's how we roll. We just roll. Anyway, thank you very much for coming to the show. We really appreciate it, man. Hey, thanks for having me on your show, Chris. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. And give us that .com one last time to hit as we go out.
wizardofadsonline.com.
You should have one of those Wizard of Oz songs that plays when you say that or something. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We certainly appreciate it. What a fun show. Thanks, John, for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss. And you just know it. The original Chris Voss, 2008. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time.
See you.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.
And bye.